Hey YouTube, and welcome back to the Sneaky V YouTube channel. Last time you guys saw me, I was getting the bottom end on this thing done. I was getting all the pistons in, all the rods, and everything in the correct orientation. All of the pistons, um, recesses for the valves are pointing in the correct direction. All of the radiuses on the piston rods are pointing in the correct direction toward the in relation to the crankshaft, so that nothing is binding together. And I got all of the rod bolts torqued down on the bottom end of the piston rods. So the next thing that I need to do is get my camshaft in, and it's a relatively simple process. All you do is just basically push it down through the hole there, and just torque it down into place. Now what I have here is I think regular LS7 or was it LS9 camshaft, and it should work just fine for me because I do plan on going boosted eventually. I don't remember if the LS9 was boosted, but I know that LS7 was. But depending on which one it was, it'll either be better or worse to run this boosted or not. Either way, I can just change out the camshaft later if I need to. But anyways, I'm going to get this in there. So the first thing you want to do when installing a camshaft is get your roller size lubed up. Now I have here some assembly lube that I'm just going to put on and spray it around, because you don't want this going in dry. Get some on the cam lobes as well. Go ahead and do these first two sets up. Set that aside. Spread that around. Now I already have some of that assembly lube on the inside of these bearings here. So if anybody caught that, I do have that in there. This is the front side, and you just kind of push it down through there. Now you want to be careful to not ding up your bearings or your lobes on your camshaft. The first few inches are pretty easy. Slides right in. I already got some assembly lube on that one. Get some more lube on these. And this stuff is really tacky. It doesn't just drip off. So the stuff that I put down inside the engine already is still gonna be there. Go on to the next one. Hits a little bit. And on to the next one. Now you get down to these last couple, you'll notice that it starts getting a little bit harder to do, because you have to push down on this end of the camshaft to raise the front end of the camshaft up to get it to go through the holes. Now what you can do in that case is take either a wrench extender or just a wrench itself, and put it down in this hole here. The camshaft is hollow, I guess, for saving weight, and you can use that as leverage so that you're not using only your hands. So I'm going to take my 1/2 inch wrench here, because it just kind of fits right down in there, and use it as some leverage to exert some force onto this camshaft here. Put that down and spread some of this around. Get on the lobes as well, because eventually I'm going to start this engine and I want to have some lube there. On the lobes. I'm pushing this inward. And we're almost to the last one. And we just keep going. Now at this point, I can just kind of rest that there, and I can reach around here to the back and feel the camshaft through the back side, and just kind of guide it in with my finger, because there's no sense in struggling. And basically that's all there is to the camshaft. So with the camshaft in place, the next thing I want to do is install my camshaft retainer plate so it doesn't come falling back out of there, because that would be bad. If it hits the ground, if it falls and hits the ground from this height, it's gonna crack. So I have my camshaft retainer plate. Now this is a LSX camshaft retainer plate. They look quite a bit different from the regular retainer plate because they just made the LSX blocks a little bit different. I'll show you guys the difference. This is a regular LS camshaft retainer plate. It won't fit here at all. It doesn't have the bolt pattern or anything. So I'm just gonna set that back aside. I actually bought that because I thought that's what I was gonna need, but I didn't realize that this block actually came with its own LSX retainer plate until too late. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this on, and it takes these 6 little bolts here. They are T40 Torx bolts, and get those in there. I'm gonna have to take these gloves off now that I'm done with everything that takes assembly lube. So I can get rid of these. But like I was saying, these 6 bolts here are T40 Torx style. They kind of recess up into the retainer plate there. So get these in, and each of these torque down to 11 foot-pounds. Now the ones on or rather I should say the ones that aren't T40, the regular hexagonal style bolt heads, they torque down to about 18 foot-pounds of torque, but these only torque down to 11. So let's get these put in and get them torqued down to 11 foot-pounds. Now to get these torqued down, what I actually had to do, since I don't really have a adapter for this style of bit, I had to take a adapter from the 3/4 inch socket, use a 6.5 millimeter socket, and that fits directly over a that type of bit. I don't know what you call it. I don't know what size that is, and I can just use that to tighten it down. These all tighten down. This one, 2, 3. These already have a little bit of a thread locker on them, so it doesn't rattle out of place when the engine's running. Get them all snug down here, and that keeps the cam from sliding back this way and falling out in front of the engine and digging up your cam lobes or anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that torque down to 11 foot-pounds of torque. Get my torque wrench started up here. Get it set to the proper foot poundage. Alright, got my torque wrench set to 11 foot-pounds. I'm just going to go around and torque all these down to 11. Real simple. make sure you're all good to go. And I can set this back aside for now. Back in its case. Alright, camshaft is in, retainer plate is on, but it's holding it in from only sliding forward. It doesn't stop it from sliding back. So the next thing I want to do after getting my camshaft in is install my timing set. And what I have here is a regular just LS timing set, nothing super special about it, no roller or no double roller or anything, a single chain cam set from Summit Racing. You can set this to retard or advance the timing by 4 to 8 degrees, I believe. And this timing set came with its own little set of inserts. Came with its own little set of inserts that you can insert into this little hole here, and it'll offset the timing chain by the amount that you need it to based on how much timing you plan on running. Right now I have the direct zero retard or advance in here, but I'll show you guys real quick. These came with a few other inserts that you can put in for 2 degrees, 4 degrees, 6 degrees, or 8 degrees, and each of them are offset a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but anyway, I'm gonna set you guys back up over here. But anyway, so this little insert here, that's the gray one, is set for zero timing or zero advance or retard in the timing, and that insert fits right over this little peg here on the camshaft. So basically all you do is just put that on, use your chain to line it up with the camshaft sprocket. Now if you guys have been paying attention, you might notice that I already had the crankshaft sprocket on. You can turn that to however many degrees you want. It has little notches that line up with the keyway. I already had that on because I've done this before, but the video got corrupted and that wasn't coming off. So I took everything off except for that, and I'm redoing it now. Anyways, you want to get your camshaft sprocket lined up here, and both the camshaft sprocket and the crankshaft sprocket have a tiny little dot on them that tells you their position. The dot on the camshaft sprocket should be pointing directly down in the 6 o'clock position, and the one on the crankshaft sprocket should be pointing directly up at the 12 o'clock position. So that's going to put this at about 3 o'clock. So get that lined up there, and then you just slide it over your sprockets like that. That's not it for the just like that. Rotate the camshaft a little bit. Now what this timing set actually does is it transfers the rotational motion from the crankshaft to the camshaft, and they work in time to you know, intake air, compress it, fire it, and then exhaust. But also this top cam sprocket here keeps the cam from sliding out back. So the cam retainer plate keeps it from sliding forward, and the camshaft sprocket keeps it from sliding back. So I'm going to get this torqued down, and basically it just takes 3 of these M6 by 20 bolts. I think it was M6 by 20. And they just go right in. Really nothing to it. Get these torqued down. So the 3 bolts on your cam sprocket actually torque down to 18 foot-pounds of torque. So I'm going to get these finger tight here first, and then run around them with the torque wrench and get them all torqued down to 18 foot-pounds. It's actually 18 to 26 foot-pounds. I guess it's either or with these because they're not really super important. But I'm just going to go with the 18 foot-pounds. Let me get my torque wrench started back up here. And get it set to 18 foot-pounds. And these bolts just take a little half-inch socket, slips right on there. So get all three of these torqued down to 18 foot-pounds. And the camshaft wants to move a little, so I'm going to hold that in place. It's 18 on that one. And the third one, also 18, obviously. And that's it for the timing chain and sprockets. The next thing I want to do after getting my camshaft and timing chain and sprockets on is install the oil pump. Now, this oil pump actually came with this timing set, and it takes a little gear here to drive it. So it all came with the timing set, and basically all you do is slide your little gear on over the sprocket, just like you did with your sprocket chain, even though I didn't show that part. And it just slides on there real nice and neat. And basically that's it for the that little part. I am gonna take my rubber mallet here and give it a few taps to make sure it's seated on there pretty good. But that's on there. And then you take your oil pump. This oil pump takes the same size bolts as this crank sprocket, this cam sprocket here. M6, or was it M8? Give me a second. Whatever. I have the bolts, but it takes the same size bolt as the cam sprocket. And basically this just goes on over your crank snout like that and over the little gear that they have for it. And the weird thing to me is that with these LS oil pumps, they actually have a hole going from the pump to the block right here. And there's no gasket or anything between the pump and the block. It just holds itself there. So these go on here like that. Just tighten them down finger tight for right now. And just like the bolts for the cam sprocket here, these actually torque down to 18 foot-pounds of torque too. But the first thing I'm going to do is get them finger tight, because I have to align the oil pump. I don't really understand what that step means, but I think it's important, or it can like wear out your oil pump faster. So what you basically do is you get your oil pump on, get the bolts down finger tight, and then you rotate your crankshaft 360 degrees. So I'm gonna go under here. I need one of those devices where you can use it to rotate the crankshaft, but I don't have one right now, so I'm just gonna use my hand. So you take it and rotate it 360 to get the oil pump aligned. This is actually quite hard. 360 degrees. And then you just take your torque wrench and torque all the bolts down to 18 foot-pounds of torque, just like you did for the camshaft sprocket there. Torque wrench started up. Get my 1/2 inch socket on there and eighteen, 18, 18, and 18. And put away my wrench so it doesn't fall or anything because it was expensive. And that's pretty much it for your camshaft, timing set, oil pump. The next thing that I want to do is get my rear main housing on, but I can't really do that right now because I don't have my oil pan that I need to get all that straight. So I think I'm gonna cut it off here until I get my oil pan and my oil pickup tube, which goes on the bottom of the oil pump here, and get that all on in the next video. I also ordered some bolts for my heads. I still need to order some gaskets for the heads, but those are expensive, so it's gonna take a little while for me before I get those, probably next paycheck. But I already ordered some ARP bolts for the head because they clamp down, not bolts, I ordered studs for the head. They clamp down a little bit stronger, and they're actually reusable because they just use better materials for their studs, and they treat them a different way to make them stronger. But I do have the studs coming, and I still got to order the heads. I still have to get an oil pan, oil pickup tube, windage tray, and a bunch of other things. But for right now, that's going to be all for me. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you comment at least, and subscribe to the channel to help support this build and keep me going. It's gonna get done either way, but if you guys can pitch in and help out by watching the videos and sending your friends, it'll probably get done a lot faster. But anyways, that's gonna be it for me. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.